Welcome to my views and news. Some new stories from Ethiopia and Eritrea. Firstly, an update for you on the religious tension, confrontation, clashes between Muslim community members and security forces in Addis Ababa. After Friday prayers in Addis Ababa at Anwar Mosque, we saw clashes. How many were killed? How many were injured? Security forces laid siege to Anwar Mosque. Top Muslim leaders had to intervene. They arrived at the mosque. Then evacuation of trapped Muslims became possible. Secondly, Zemene Kassie, a Fano commander from Gojam, has been acquitted. Today, a court in Bahirdar announced this verdict. Will he be released? And thirdly, Afwerki, Eritrean President, was seen inspecting weapons in Russia. While speculations are abundant about the real agenda of Afwerki's visit, what was he doing in Russia inspecting weapons? Is he there to purchase arms? Does he want military cooperation? What is the agenda? Firstly, viewers, update for you on what happened in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital today. Last Friday, Muslims protested in Addis Ababa outside Anwar Mosque against demolition of mosques in newly constructed Shaggar city. Several mosques have been demolished in the last 2 months. Last Friday, security forces opened fire to disperse Muslim protesters. Several were injured and at least one casualty was confirmed. Same happened today as well. After Friday prayers, there was start of clashes between Muslims, both men and women, and Ethiopian security forces. Security forces opened fire. Security forces fired tear gas. Muslims were unarmed. Did they throw stones? Some say they threw stones, but we are waiting for official statement from Ethiopian government, from Addis Ababa police. No statement from these sides so far. Ustad Abu Bakr Ibrahim, Ethiopian Islamic Affairs Supreme Council, they say that Muslims were unarmed, empty-handed, and that security forces used force brutally. There was confrontation, clashes. Some Muslims were injured and at least one casualty is being confirmed too. Though some sources say 10 were killed in this incident, but I am not able to confirm. That is why I won't share any numbers. But people say dozens were injured in shooting by security forces today. Security forces, after shooting, laid siege to Anwar Mosque. People, including injured Muslims, remained trapped for hours in Anwar Mosque. And Ustad Abu Bakr had to issue a statement. Then Addis Ababa Islamic Affairs Supreme Council chief had to arrive at Anwar Mosque. His name is Sheikh Sultan Aman, head of Addis Ababa chapter of Islamic Affairs Supreme Council. He arrived there along with 3 senior leaders, Muslim leaders. They talked to security officials. Then the Muslims trapped in Anwar Mosque were allowed to leave, and injured were then taken to hospitals. Ambulances were allowed to reach Anwar Mosque. Is this how states treat their people? Even in wars, you know that injured people are allowed to be evacuated. But here, mosque remained under siege. Despite calls from Muslim leaders, ambulances were not allowed to reach Anwar Mosque. At last, Sheikh Sultan Aman arrived. He talked to security forces. Then some ambulances arrived and injured people were evacuated. Women, hundreds of women were there. There is a women mosque too, a part of Anwar Mosque. Hundreds of women were trapped there too. They were not allowed to leave. After intervention by Muslim leaders, the injured and those trapped were allowed to leave the area. Several have been arrested, some injured too. We are waiting for official statement from Ethiopian government, from Addis Ababa police. But this is second time in 8 days that Muslims have been killed and injured. Issue of demolition of mosques, churches, houses in Shaggar is turning into a serious issue. Ethiopian government is not willing to allow any group to protest in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital. Orthodox believers protested a few months ago when a splinter faction emerged in Oromia. They protested in large numbers in Addis Ababa, in Amhara. And then we saw that Oromo protested too in support of Ethiopian army a few days ago. And now Muslims protesting, saying their mosques are being demolished. Oromia government says mosques are built on illegal, on state land. Constructions are illegal. But churches, mosques, houses are being demolished without consultation, without taking people on board, without giving alternatives. That is why tension is rising. Let's hope this issue is resolved, and let's hope that the two sides sit at the table. By the way, Ethiopian Islamic Affairs Supreme Council leader Sheikh Ibrahim Tofa was installed by federal government, by Oromia government, because the organization was led by Mufti Haji Umar Idris, who is from the Amhara region. But a few months ago, Ibrahim Tofa was made the president of the organization. Haji Umar Idris was removed, who rejected the change, but he did not have support of other Islamic Affairs Supreme Council members. Now, while Islamic Supreme Council is under the thumb of Oromia government, federal government, Muslims are facing the excessive use of force by security forces in Addis Ababa. Second, Zemene Kassie was acquitted by a court today. Zemene Kassie is Fano commander from Gajjam. Two top commanders of Fano militia from Gajjam, Zemene Kassie and Masrisha. Zemene Kassie was arrested in September last year. At the start of last year, Ethiopian security forces, regional forces, started a disarmament campaign against Fano factions. Fano fighters, hundreds were arrested, thousands rather. Fano commanders had to flee, some were arrested. Zemene Kassie went missing. In September last year, he was arrested in Gojam. And then we saw a trial start against Zemene Kassie. Today, a court in Bahirdar acquitted Zemene Kassie. Prosecutors could not prove the case. So the court ordered that Zemene Kassie is free of the charge. Will he be released? I don't think so. I think the government institutions, prosecutors will file some new charges. They will file some new case against Zemene Kassie. If Zemene Kassie is released, what will he do? Will he continue his armed resistance against Ethiopian federal government? Because now we are seeing a new force in Gojam, led by Skandar Naga, Amhara Popular Front. If Zemene Kassie is released, what will he do? Will he support Skandar Naga? Will he form a separate group? Or will he back government? Let's see if Zemene Kassie is going to be released or not. If he is released, then who is behind this decision of release of Zemene Kassie? We'll have to wait and see. So far, court has acquitted him. He is still in prison. Thirdly, viewers, Isaias Afwerki, Eritrean President, still in Russia on a 4-day visit. He held a meeting with Putin yesterday. There he spoke. I did a video, 2 videos on his visit so far. And he visited defense exhibition in Russia. He inspected development of weapons by Russia, how Russia managed to get advanced weapons. He saw different phases of this development. So tanks, artillery of the past were shown, how they were modernized and how Russia is now able to have modern weapons. He was seen there keenly observing what Russia did to have modern weapons. When he was in China, he was visiting factories, industrial projects. He was inspired by modernization, inspired by industrialization in China, and in Russia he is visiting defense exhibitions. That is why I say that this visit is different from the visit of China. I wouldn't be surprised if I come to know that Isaias Afwerki has agreed with Putin to enhance security cooperation, to enhance military cooperation, but we'll have to wait. I don't want to speculate. Signs are there, it seems. Thank you for watching.